Hi, sisters. Hello. Welcome to day 2 of our planner party. I'm excited. I heard from many of you ladies that some really magical things happened. Should I read some of them? We're going to share our gains. So I'm um, a big, I guess, maybe I don't know why the word promoter comes in. I'm a big supporter of sharing wins and sharing gains. And you also have space to share like that you're not feeling great in this group. You can share also like the opposite of a gain, like, hey, I feel stuck, help me. Please feel free that you can always do both. And if you're just jumping on, hello, hello, hello. I hope people can find me. I'm on Zoom and I'm on Facebook, so hopefully it works. And the reason I'm always like, hey, share wins, share gains, because it's so inspiring to hear each other's gains and each other's wins. And it always compounds. So when can you guys hear me? Is this working? Yeah. When we see someone have a gain, or we see someone have like just share a beautiful, like, hey, I sold a package, or hey, I got to do this today, this manifested, it really creates this sense of momentum, and it creates this sense of like uplifting, and we compound emotions, we compound everything we already feel, we always get to feel more of it. So it's like we cellularly are teaching ourselves, hey, I know how to feel like the excitement of a win, of a gain. It's fun. Hi, Dorothy. Okay, let me check the Facebook group to see if I am live in the right place. Okay, cool. I think I am. Is it working? Okay. I think it is. Okay, cool. I think I am. Is it working? Okay. All right, fun. I think it is. Okay, cool. I think I am. Is it working? All right, so we're just going to wait a couple more minutes for everyone to come in. I don't know who can join us. Hi, hi, awesome. So how are you feeling, Dorothy, since yesterday? And did you feel like it was easier to work on your website, to write it? And if you didn't watch day 1 yet, for anyone who's kind of catching up on the replays, Dorothy at the end said, hey, I need to write my website. And I recommended you give your mind a different kind of picture, like more, hey, I'm finishing 2 pages, because when we say, hey, I'm going to write my website, we end up writing forever, just like we can get stuck looking and looking and looking instead of pivoting into feeling like a finder. And I'm happy to talk about that today because I think it's an important, like, just pivot to do. All right. Yes, it was. Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, so, okay, yeah, sounds good, Dorothy. Yeah, we're not gonna, depending on how many people can join us, we might not have a super long call today. I wanted to show you one of the hacks that I do to, if I don't have my iPad, I print one for everyone who's like, how do we do this if we don't have an iPad? So I print one, and I have these, I don't know if you guys have them in the States, but they just have a bunch of like empty, one of those, like they're just a bunch of empty plastic sheets. I feel like I'm doing like a product commercial. So I slip this one in there, just like this, right? And then I always have one of these handy that I keep in it. Okay, I keep this one in it because otherwise this gets lost. And that way I can write, I can fill in the columns, like fill in the rows. Okay, so that's the hack, because what I do next is I'll just take the piece of paper and go to the next page for the next day. So I don't have, because I used to like print a bunch of these and I want to save trees, right? So we're trying not to do that. So that's the more paper one, is you get one of those easy, it's like thin, I can carry it everywhere. And then I have this one, and this is erasable, and it's a fine point. All right, so that's the bit about that. did anyone want to check in on how it went yesterday to visualize it? Any questions? Any wins? Do you want to report any wins? I'm gonna share the ones I received, which were awesome. Aneesah listened to the Blessing Ball of Light, and Aneesah's been in my program it's called Selling Your Power. It's all about how to sell your services, like how to package what you do and sell it. And she says, I sold a package yesterday after I listened to the Ball of Light. Iva also, I guess I have a lot of packages sold. She sold a package, she sold 2 packages yesterday. Okay, so those were the wins from the ping pong group. Let me go look at the other ones. Any wins you guys want to report? Violetta had an amazing experience after the meditation. She decided to let her old self go and step into her new self. And she was able to move through some doubts. So that's awesome. Okay. Yay. All right. So you can do the Blessing Ball of Light as often as you want. You could do your future self habit visualization as often as you want. And I really recommend, like, let's have a quick conversation today about how do you reward yourself. So, you know, brain chemistry, brain biology, neurobiology, it really helps when you have internal rewards, like where you feel like, hey, there's this part in you who's going to let you have a sense of I'm rewarding myself. And it's not an external reward, because if we wait for external reward, it's going to always feel like that approval is lacking. You know, we're always going to feel like we're chasing after approval or after some kind of security. So just think about it. You can maybe think about it today with me and we could do it together, but it's like, where do you experience, or how do you experience internal reward system where maybe you were not feeling in the mood to go to the gym and you just got up and you got out and you went to the gym and your mood felt better. So I heard a podcast today and it was like neuroscience kind of podcast. And the guy said, mood always follows action. Mood follows action. So if you move, you take action, your mood's going to change. It's going to feel better. So, all right. Did Parveen work out on her bike today? Hi, ladies. Welcome back to day 2. I made an Excel sheet from your planner and happy to share. Well, need to translate it first. Oh, Dorothy, awesome. Was it in German? I have to go, but we'll catch the replay. Finding this process so helpful. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can post it, Dorothy. Thank you. That's awesome. So we'll go over it a little bit more today, and then I'll share Dr. Michael Rice's original worksheet, because you creative, beautiful beings might find like, hey, I want to include these pieces of it as well. Yeah. So internal rewards, you know, you might even include on the worksheet, like success. Now I get to have a reward. Like I get to give myself praise. I get to give myself a sense of like, yes, I did it. One of the pieces about neuroscience is also confidence comes from like looking at what you've already done. Like I have accomplished this. I'm able to have done all of this. So the confidence also can come not from being future based, like I'll feel confident once I have accomplished that over there. You can also look back and create a list and a sense of like, look at everything I've done. Okay, so confidence can come from previous achievements, not always having to be future based. So with that in mind, I really want to give you this quick hack before we dive more into the planner. Is if you ever feel like overwhelmed and you have a huge list of things you need to do and you're like, I don't see how I'm going to do this. It's a little bit like the pivot. You guys have probably heard me teach on a lot. And I'm happy to maybe like somatically walk you through this experience because it's such an it takes down anxiety like in a huge way, is when you feel like I don't see how I'm going to get everything done, you want to pivot as quickly as you can from I have this long list of to do that I still need to do. You want to get away from that and pivot to look at everything I've already done. So it's a hack, to be honest, that my angels taught me. They're like, get away from I'm behind, because the frequency of I'm behind is a sticky recurring feeling, and it's a memorized feeling that you actually memorize in your cells. You want to go, hey guys, all of your little cells, they're going to swim to look at everything I've already done. Because if you can feel, look at everything I've already done, you're tricking your mind to see you as someone who accomplishes a lot, who gets done a lot, who's able to focus a lot. And so you get to have more of that. Okay, so let's do that super quick. If you have availability for it now, let's just take a pen and paper and step away from the feeling of I've got so much to do, and just quickly let your mind jot down everything that you feel like, hey, I did get that done. And it can be as simple as I got out of bed, I made my bed, I had a glass of water, and I took a shower. It could be just that. But the more things you find on there, the more you can add to the list, the more you get to see yourself as someone who gets things done. Again, even if they're really little, like you put the dishes in the dishwasher, put that on there. Oh, I love that, Dorothy. Yeah. And to really, even if you've already have the list of all the things you've done, I even would walk away from the list to go back and make it again. It's just like your muscle memory. It's just like you're training your mind to also praise you, see how much you've done. And it's not like a gratitude list. It's more of a look at all that I have, to get away from all that I still want. Because wanting is a feeling of lack, you know? And we always are going to feel like we're behind if we stay running down that path. So it's kind of like, once I'm locked in the frequency of I'm behind, I'm going to continue to attract evidence that I'm behind. So we now become a manifester of evidence that we're behind. This is why I always say pivot, 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 because then you get back on the horse of like, you know, oh, it's amazing. I got so much done. I feel so great. Because the less we get done, the less we get done. Like, you know how that rolls. All right, I'll give you a couple minutes to kind of jot down some of that. Even if you didn't do the things you wanted to do, maybe you did something else. I know Jessica shared one of those. Hi, Alexandra. Hi, Parveen. Parveen did get on the bike, so write that on there. I went and got on the bike. You know, the more you see it, and feel satisfied by it, the more likely you're going to do it again tomorrow or whenever you decide to do it again. And you're looking for evidence that you're making progress. You're looking for evidence that you're showing up for you, wherever those markers are for you, you know, like maybe you haven't, like, let's say your goal is to shed 20 pounds. And all you did in the last couple days was find some YouTube videos and get more good water at the store. That is you telling your mind, I am making progress towards my goal. You know, the end result is you can visualize it, you can feel what it would feel like to leap and be there now. But in the more like 3D realm, hey, I did take some action towards that goal today. Like evidence you're making progress. And I'll walk you through the somatic experience of some of those so that you can feel the shift too and recognize it. Because if you can feel the joy and the uplifting of like, oh my God, I am totally on my way to that bigger goal of, you know, whether it's an amount of money, whether it's success, whether it's more subscribers, more clients, finding little nuggets of evidence that it's already kind of coming is gold. So important. Celebrate that, like celebrate the little tiny wins. Yay. And on that note, I also really recommend, so this is another hack, and then I want to hear your wins. Type them up in the comments, like your little things you did get done. Another hack that I love is so as a rebel, some days my nervous system cannot do any creative work or like boss work or CEO work until I've like really had a day of like relaxation and watching my favorite show and doing whatever, like having an artist date. I don't know if anyone is familiar with artist date. It's from a book called The Artist's Way by Cameron, forgot her other name, something Cameron. I love that book. And it's where you're just kind of like, don't have a schedule, you're doing whatever. So I don't make it mean that I'm not going to be productive today. And I don't, yeah, Julia Cameron, thank you. And I don't make it mean that it means I'm not going to make money. So just watch your thoughts when like you see like, oh, I didn't do the planner. I didn't do anything on the planner. I had to rest all day. I had to cry all day. I had to watch movies all day. Just let it be like a standalone thing. Don't like, it's kind of like that story of the man whose son gets injured and everyone in the village says, oh, that's too bad, your son got injured. And he says, well, maybe it's too bad, maybe it's okay. You know, and then it's like the son gets injured, the horse gets injured, and everyone's like, oh no, that's terrible. And he says, well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. And then, you know, the war happens and he, you know, the soldiers come and have to recruit young men and they can't recruit his son because his son broke his leg or whatever happened. And people were like, oh, you're so lucky, your son didn't have to go to war. And he's like, well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So we kind of having that, again, that innocence of maybe what I needed to do today was just be till 2 p.m. But from 2 to 9 p.m., I may have the most productive half day. So if you feel like, hey, I'm not able to get anything done today, just try not to go into, well, the whole day is lost, you know? That's a hack I've really gotten used to. Like I can still win today, even if I don't start till 3 p.m. Unless you have little ones that you have to pick up at 4:30, you might be like, well, no, the whole day is really shot. You know, I know those days. I know what it's like, but just watch for those belief systems, you know, you still get to win. Okay, loves. So anything you guys want to share that you feel really happy and proud about that you did do? You can even leave it in the comments for later, next time. Like if you're watching the replay, I mean. So you have permission to take naps and still make money. You have permission to be like, I do less and I still manifest. And there's Jennifer on Zoom, I think. I don't know which Jennifer that is. Okay. All right, let's do some pivoting and then we'll do more kind of planning together. We'll do more fun things. Okay, so I will help you pivot from, like somatically pivot from, oh, Jennifer Freer, you're up. It's cool. Any gains and wins you want to report? I love your pictures lately. They've been so awesome. Okay, so let's pivot from being a looker or feeling like, yeah, let me pivot you from looker to finder. I think that's a really good one. So go into the space when you are looking for what should I put on my planner or what is my life purpose, and just kind of just get into that feeling of when you do look for things and there's a little bit of frustration. around the looker and being a looker. So it could be like, I'm looking for parking, I'm looking for my keys, I'm looking for my soulmate, I'm looking for clients, and just kind of get into it. I'm going to take you out of it. I'm going to help you pivot, but just so you have a sense of like, I know that energetic signature when I get stuck looking. And you may have heard me talk about this before, but I was rollerblading on the beach here in the south of France, and I kept driving through these couple parking lots on the beach. And I kept seeing the same couple in the same car, like with their face stuck looking for parking. And this is a place that I would drive to often, and it's a place where I would always find parking. And I asked my guides, because when I rollerblade, I'm kind of in the zone. And I asked them, I'm like, well, how come I always find parking and I don't look for parking? And I heard that's because you're a finder, you're not a looker. And I was like, huh, I identify as a finder instead of a looker. But I have gotten caught up in like, you know, the old paradigm of let me go look for my keys, let me go look for whatever I'm looking for. And I always kind of catch myself and I go pivot. No, I'm a finder. So this is how you do it, you guys. You feel the looker vibe. You have to kind of name it and be like, oh, I am looking, because it becomes the bottom of the pool that you can push off. So it's okay if you're looking for, so let me know what you want to do it on for this round. So what have you been looking for that you're starting to feel frustrated? Looking for clients, yay! Where are they? So the more we look, so the more we're in the looker energy, the more the universe gives us opportunities to look. Like I love Dorothy yesterday. She shared, because when she wrote down writing my website, I told her without knowing what you were going to say, Dorothy, I said, well, the universe is going to, like your mind is just going to keep writing your website without end. You're just going to keep writing it every day. And you're like, yes, that's exactly what's happening. Writing and rewriting. So instead, you guys, you've got to get curious energetically, viscerally in your body, and I'll show you how to do it, and leap into, I have finished it. I have completed it. I have found it. What does that look like and feel like? Yeah. Okay. And it's a bit of a decision, you know? So I just heard someone say to decide is a Latin word for like to cut off. You're cutting off. You're not available for it anymore. Okay. Looking for clients. Yeah. So feel the feeling of I'm looking, and it kind of can feel like you're almost trying to find the ground and you can't touch the ground. You're like looking and it kind of feels like you can't reach anything. I don't know how to describe the feeling of looking is like you don't feel stable. You feel like wobbly or like you can't touch the floor. Okay. And there's a sense of like your mind is trying to like, I don't know, grow neurons and it's not happening, right? It's like, where is the answer? I can't find the answer. So keep in mind that the more you're the looker as an identity, the more you'll find opportunities to look for things, because that's just what lookers do. And finders, they go, I'm a finder. So both energies are completely available to you, 100%. Okay, we could go here, we can go there. Both are available. So let's pivot now. Okay, so get into your body. If you can't do this now, do it now. You kind of close your eyes, and I want you to find the thread of I'm a looker, and just try to find in your aura, where is that cord or like a thread or like a spaghetti cord, like a spaghetti, like a little lump spaghetti, a feeler, where is that on your aura? And if your aura is a clock, tell me where you're kind of plugged in, like you're plugged into 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 1 o'clock. When you're looking, where's your aura plugged into? Does that make sense? And let me know if it's hard, but so if your aura is a clock, you're plugged into an emotion and a feeling, and it's somewhere. Okay. Parveen says 12 o'clock. And how does it feel to be plugged in that 12 o'clock? Does it feel familiar? Does it feel good or kind of frustrating? And let me know if anyone's like, I don't get how to do this work. I don't get how to do this. Jen, how are you doing with where is it in your body when you're plugged into that? Gives you anxiety. Parveen, okay. Hi, Sabrina. Sabrina, we're doing shifting from the looker to the finder. So anything you've been looking, like looking for clients, check. Oh, everybody's at 12 o'clock. What's going on, ladies? Okay, so that tells me something a little bit important. 12 o'clock is your crown chakra, and it's your antenna, and it's your higher kind of self that usually would come in to guide you. I need to read what's going on, because that tells me that you really think that if you look, you will find. And there actually are, it's not a spectrum. I wish it was. So the false thing that no one taught us in the quantum field, where we like exist in this universe, we think if I keep looking, I will eventually find. It is not a continuum. It's not a spectrum. They're two opposite frequencies. I'm going to show you how that works. Okay, it's more of a leap to a different frequency. So if you feel like looking is your religion almost, like I know that if I look, I will find, please reel it back in. So this is what you're going to do instead. You're going to suck your feelers back in, and I want you to decide, which means to cut off being a looker. You just like almost like shake it off, like suck your feeler back in, almost like delete. So I'm going to pour a lot of light through you right now. You're going to feel the light come in from source, and the light tends to be really good at deleting anything that isn't true. So the highest truth, the truth like the universe loves me, I'm here to be a finder, all of those truths, you can plug in those truths, and the light can't delete those. But the light can come in and delete, I'm not enough, no matter what I do, I never win, all the things that aren't your actual blueprint and your truth. So call on the light. Okay, good. Thanks to everyone for telling me it's at 12 o'clock. So that's a really important piece of information, because that means your crown chakra, which is your kind of gateway to answers, is stuck looking, which is no bueno for your ability to receive really clear guidance and all the things. So let's suck it back in, suck it back in, suck it back in, ground your feelers back in, like almost like you sucked in all your spaghettis, and then grow your aura taller, as if you're filling up with light that is so beautiful, so powerful, so strong that you grow beyond the house. You grow, grow, grow with your feet planted on the earth, but you're growing beyond the sky, and you're absorbing, taking in a ton of light, and your aura is growing with you. So now you're expanding your light. Your bubble of light is expanding, growing, merging with the divine white light that's come down to surround you, uplift you, and fill you. And it's coming in with a ton of approval and a lot of positive energy that you could hear as praise. Like if an entire choir of angels were to say, we love you, we approve of you, you're doing your best, you got this, you're making progress, you would just suck it in, like soak it in. I mean, like you would just take it in. So as you grow, as you go up to the light, as you go up to meet with this light, bring in a lot of approval into your heart, into your cells. Okay. And as you kind of do that, and again, please do this if you're not driving, close your eyes. And I want you to become really, really tiny and go into yourself. So you're going to go right into your bloodstream. You're going to go right into your body. You're going to just almost like drop into your body. And you're going to have the ability to zoom in and look at your cells. And they look like cute little marbles with cute little eyes. And they're swimming and dancing around. There's billions of them in there. But there's a bunch of your cells that are stuck looking. They're just like the lookers, and you just will find them. They're looking for approval, they're looking for safety, they're looking for answers, and they're stuck with kind of the memorized energy of what looking feels like. And that's fine, you just notice them. Notice what percentage of them are kind of stuck looking. And those memorized emotions are really embedded in the cells. And that's okay. Let me know, like, you don't have to write when you found them, but just notice that they're there and they have the code of finding, of looking. And then we're going to bring in a supercell, and this is your finder supercell. And this supercell is the one who knows that she was here to be a finder, and she's really good at living the frequency of the finder. I found it. I found my clients. I found my parking spot. I found my keys. She decides she's a finder. So she goes right into your body and she goes around all the looking cells and she copy pastes herself. So pivot from 12 o'clock, everyone, to 6 o'clock, or beyond 6 o'clock, below 6 o'clock, but go seek the frequency of finding. Go in your body and be like, if I can really feel into this supercell who's the finder cell, she finds everything. She calls things in and she finds them, she has them, they come to her, she's a finder. Copy paste around all the cells in your body. There you go. Okay, I can feel you guys doing this. And you might feel a little bit of grief because you're leaving behind a previous self who was always looking. It kind of becomes an identity to be looking. So leave it behind for a couple more minutes to really lean into at 6 o'clock for now until we switch things around. But how does it feel to be opposite looking and explore being a finder and copy pasting that across every cell? Telling yourselves what you're going to recycle now, what you're going to re-experience, what you're going to kind of become addicted to. It's not looking, but finding, being a finder. More and more and more. So I'm going to do this exercise with my hands clapping. And you're going to maybe feel yourself go into an even deeper state of relaxation. Okay? But every time you hear me clap, you're going to find even more cells that are going to convert from looking to finders. Okay? Every time I clap, you just go, I found more cells that become finders, and more and more and more finder cells, multiplying. Millions and billions of them are converting back to the original coding of being a finder, finding everything even more. I'm going to do it a little bit more because some of your energy is needing to be kind of shaken up. So yeah, shake your body, shake off the trauma response of feeling stuck looking. Yeah, there you go, good. Oof. Okay, move your body if you need to, drink some water, but just try to really move and like get your body to just breathe, move, and get off this feeling stuck looking. Yeah, there you go. Ooh. If you need a little bit more, like, I'll explain this later. Put a hand back here and then put middle finger here and the other two fingers here. And this helps your brain process trauma, the trauma response of feeling stuck looking. Yeah, there you go. So that's what it looks like. This is called Tapas, T-A-P-A-S, Tapas pose from Fleming Tapas, who has some pretty incredible work for post-trauma, you know. Okay, good. All right, how does it feel to pivot from, I'll do it again if anyone needs to see it, from feeling stuck, looking, to pivoting to being a finder? You might feel yourself stronger, more like sturdy and strong. Yeah, there you go. Oof. I'm a finder. All right, copy paste across every cell, every molecule, all this space in between your molecules. You're teaching your cells to memorize the original coding of being a finder, and even more. Okay. for all the things. Okay, so how does it feel when you think about, let me feel into this for a minute. Okay. I'm just seeing your aura. All of your auras are like kind of still spinning and clearing. So I'm going to give you a minute. Breathe, connect to source even more, channel even more light right through you to delete, uncreate, transmute. All that made you feel stuck looking. Yeah, delete, uncreate, transmute. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. How was that for everyone? I want to check in before we move on to the next piece. How was that kind of exploring being a finder? Did you get any spaciousness, or was it kind of hard and you felt your body resist it? Yeah. Okay, Jen says it was really good. I feel more empowered, still a little resistance, but it's hard to connect back to the looker frequency. Perfect. Yeah, and then, you know, it's really about trusting that if I've locked in, I'm the finder, I have found it. We lean into trusting. I don't need to look. I have found my keys. I have found my ideal, most amazing clients who love to sign up for everything I do, right? Okay, some resistance, but then comfort. The resistance, you guys, I don't know if anyone's heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza's work on quit the habit of being yourself. But I've been told some of my clients who've done this work with me, they tell me that they finally really understand what he meant in the book, that the cells become addicted to emotions. It's really that it becomes a memorized repeat. So if you've been a looker for a long time and it was kind of familiar and comforting, when I come along and I say you could just jump over to being a finder, it can be kind of like, but I don't know that frequency. I don't know if I can trust it. So let's make it into like your next level habit, which is kind of what we did yesterday. The meditation, to be like, if I was already my future self and I'm already a finder of everything, because that's who she would be, could you visualize yourself finding, and just memorizing that frequency? Because that just gets to repeat itself. So the more you know how to feel something, the more you get to have it, you know, good and bad, because the cells just copy paste it all the time. You listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza every day. Yay, yeah, his meditations are awesome. Okay. Yeah, and maybe something you can work on is asking yourself, like, when you go through your planner, when you're like deciding on what to do, you could be like, oh wait, am I in looker mode? Am I looking, or am I going to decide I'm a finder? So it's a leap. I don't know if I'm explaining it how I do it. So let me feel into how I would do it. It becomes like I have this. So let's do a quick list. Okay. Can you make a list of like 3 or 4 or 5 things you want that you don't have yet? Super quick. And then I think this will make more sense. Can you make a list of all the things you want? Just take 1 minute to think about what you want. Yeah. Okay, and then now make a list of what you have in life. Make a couple, like 2, 3, 4, 5 things of the things you do have in life. You have a bed, you have a house, you have a car, you have friends, you have hopefully water, a pen, paper, all the things you have. It will just kind of give you that visceral experience of being and having instead of wanting. Okay, so when you look at your list of what you want, you probably feel some like heaviness and tightness in your chest, and it feels like a lack, because wanting actually equals lack. I don't have it, right? The wanting is I don't have it. But when you look at what you have, you're going to feel more expensive and like comfortable and relaxed. So the whole kind of premise behind the planner is you keep like almost cellularly becoming a match for the thing you desire to achieve before you even get started, right? So if I need to come park in this city, I know that like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes before, I'm embodying the feeling of I found parking. And it's kind of like, yeah, I found parking. It's like a celebration, joy. And there's a knowingness behind it, even though there's never any parking here because it's crazy town and lots of people park here. But I want to park close to the office. So I have to visualize it. On the days I forget to ask, I usually need to like drive around a couple times and then I'm like, okay, I see it, I have it, and then I'm a match for it. Does that make sense how you have to kind of leap? So how would it feel to leap into, I'm not looking, I have, and I'm a finder? So yeah, parking is perfect. I'm actually really good with finding parking. Well, that's because you don't have any doubts about it and you have lots of evidence of being a match for it. But you can copy paste that feeling with clients, with money, you know. Of course, there might be like some trauma around money and trauma around visibility, like some stuff that's getting in the way. But if you know how to feel what it feels like to have, you can move into it and get used to it more and more. Okay, loves. Let's go look at, so we covered writing a list of everything you've done, to identify as someone who makes progress, rewarding yourself. What are the rewards you love that uplifts you? It can be really simple, like reading a book, laying on the couch, giving yourself a reward, an internal reward for achievements. Mood follows action, so your mood changes based on the actions you take. I'm looking at my Blackboard. Yeah, I think I covered everything. Okay. Hi, Christina. Oh, I wanted to ask you ladies if you had some ideas on creating accountability. So if you're an obliger or a questioner or a rebel, have you thought of any ways where you could connect a habit with committing to someone else showing up as well? So like if you're an obliger and you know you need to fill in the blank, like whatever the thing is, get up every day and do breath work. And you're like, I don't want to do breath work. Try to think of ways, creative ways to connect the habit you desire with something that gets you turned on. So for example, when I say turned on, I mean like activated and excited, yeah? So I've been meaning to create merchandise for my brand with quotes. And a couple of my clients are like, when are we going to be able to buy the mugs with like the quote? When are we going to be able to get the t-shirt and the notepad and all the things? And I've been totally procrastinating on it because it hasn't felt, I don't know how to describe it. It hasn't felt urgent. But what I'm going to do to make myself get it done is it's going to be part of the things I give away are some of the mugs with the quotes and like the physical merchandise people can get as a giveaway. So then I have to do it because I'm someone who always does what she says. So my identity is I always will deliver. If I say I'm going to do something, I always will do it. So now I have to do that. Now it becomes on top of my list for tomorrow to get this done. Do you guys get me? So if you're like, oh, I really want to achieve and finish the book, maybe you can link it with something that gets you feeling activated and motivated to do it. So that was an extra little thing to think about. All right. All right, before we move on, check where your frequency is at when you're in the finder vibe. Yeah. Oof. When you're embodying your finder, where is your feeler at? Check your aura. What time? Where are you on the clock? And make it thicker, deeper. Make it more like, take more room as a finder, embody more of the finder. I feel like your cord to the finder frequency can be a little bit stronger. Yeah. I feel like I want to ask Jen a question about ping-ponging on why would you be attached to looking? I feel like that would be really liberating, and some of you might resonate with that, like feeling to why would I be attached to looking and not yet have found the clients or whatever, you know. What's the attachment to looking? Okay, Christina in the middle of my body. Christina submits. Any attachment. So either it's an opposition to finding your clients or it's an attachment to looking for them. All right, just something to think about. I heard it when we went in. It's the part that wants to be taken care of by everyone. Oh, your princess archetype. Yeah, I think it's like the princess archetype who's like, no, I don't want to be a finder because then I'm going to have to be the queen who takes care of people and who's successful. I used to have that voice forever, Jen. I somehow negotiated with her. I don't know what did it. I negotiated with like, the man is not the plan, I'm the plan. I think that's when like the download came in. No one's going to come take care of me like I can take care of me. So yeah. The princess archetypes, ladies, so it's the part in us who's like, why do I even have to do any marketing? Shouldn't people just find me? The princess is like, I don't want to write copy for potential clients. People should just come to me. The princess is like, she's nice, she means well, she's a giver, she wants to help her people, but she doesn't want to effort, which I totally can see. Like, you don't want to think it's only going to work if I effort really hard. So she's got some good principles, but the problem is that she doesn't want to man up and be more pro. She doesn't want the responsibilities of success. So being a looker is kind of like safe. But when you get her to pivot to being a finder, she's like, whoa, what is this? So this is where you got to get really honest. It's like, what am I all doing this for? So when I mean honesty is, I mean like if you clear on the ultimate end result of all your to-dos, you know what I mean, you guys? So like if you clear and ping pong on really having clients, if that's what you're calling in, and you feel some wobbly resistance, then start there, because as long as that doesn't feel safe, you'll be in princess dallying, like she's frolicking around and pretending she wants clients, but not really. Like, not really. The man is not the plan. Yeah. All right. It's okay. We'll have support group for princess archetypes. And you get to always have her. You can have the princess and the queen. You can have both. You just got to know how to, when you want to be in one and when you want to be in the other. They get to coexist peacefully, and you can reassure her and talk to her. Oh, that one. Okay, so you found the finder, and I don't know if you can feel the finder, but the finder is a little bit like when you got a man who's like a real man, and he's gonna open the door for you and handle everything and be like, I'm on top of everything. And the finder, could you resonate with that? The finder is like confident and I got this, and I don't even need to worry, and I don't even need to look because it's mine and I've decided it. So I had misplaced my house keys for like a week, okay? And I kind of looked for them here and there, but I'm like, never mind, I'm not gonna look because I'm not gonna find them if I look. And then this morning, I was like, this is so ridiculous. Like, I am finding my keys today, like now, we're finding them today because I've had to use my son's key for a whole week, and he's had to, anyway, we haven't had 2 keys, we've had 1 key for the house. And it was like, this is ridiculous. And I found my key within minutes of deciding I was a finder in the bag that I had looked in 10 times. I looked in that bag 10 times. So I don't know how they just finally appeared, but the only difference is I really decided it was important to find them now. Okay, so that was my story. Tell me your story about like embodying the finder. Can you describe that a little bit more for yourself? Because the finder is attached to its identity of being a finder. So what that means is the archetype of the finder is like solid and like a glass bottle. It's the boss, it's the visionary, it's the one who just knows that if she scripts it, she gets it. Like there's this quantum magical fairy happening, like where it's like, all right, I'm gonna do pets for Jen. Like, you know that if you're like, I'm finding the best new cat or a new dog, or I'm a finder for the best animals, like you have no wobbliness. You're like, you know that you're a really good finder of amazing pets. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm kind of using a sensitive issue, but it's to kind of just drive the point home. Like when you gain confidence as a finder, you get to use that confidence for everything and just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, okay? And script and decide it. So get a little bit more. Yeah, you are a great finder around the house. Yeah. And it's almost like you guys, like it's almost quantum physics. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like I will tell my mind, find that thing I'm looking for, like find my sunglasses, and I get a picture in my head as to exactly where it is. Like this is next level. I'll be like, tell me, mind, where did I leave my whatever car key? And I get a flash in my head of where it is exactly. I go look there. I mean, I go wherever it is and I find it. And I'm like, this is next level, like finding vibes, you know? Where's my soulmate? Just kidding. So you ask and you receive. Okay. All right. So it's a little bit like, okay, so just to get back into the planner vibe, you get to do that too for like, hey, mind, show me what I'm doing tomorrow. That's going to be really next level, move the needle forward. What am I doing first thing in the morning? And let the pictures come to you. Let the feelings and the ideas come to you. Try it sometimes, you know, try it. Sometimes we have an agenda and we're like, I know what I'm doing tomorrow. But sometimes it's okay to be like, what am I doing tomorrow? Show me. Because it might not be what you thought you needed to do. So, okay. Let's go over the worksheet a little bit more, and then we'll call it a day, and we'll get to hang out tomorrow again and Thursday. And then, so let me give you the schedule. We're gonna have a couple more calls Wednesday, Thursday, and then we break Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then if everybody wants to, we can meet again on like Tuesday, Thursday next week, just so you have a bunch of days to like practice these, watch the replays, get more like kind of grounded in the practice. And then we're gonna have a reading party. I want to read your guys' energy and like give you some downloads at some point. I don't know when exactly. We're gonna do it maybe next week. And then check again a week later so I can see if your energy shifted. And then we're gonna have, again, like more giveaways and then a shop with me event. So after we do the readings and the giveaways and everything feels complete, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to shop with me for whatever I happen to be, I don't know, like sharing, and just to go to the next level. And I don't know yet what all of that's going to be. So that's the schedule, like what I feel is coming through. All right, planning party. Okay, planner. I think it's pretty easy to understand, but in case, I want to walk you through it one more time. So everything after the pink line, so all of this is the day of or the morning of, but don't do it the night before, okay? So just everything here. So I'll for example, I see myself tomorrow, probably gonna go to the beach tomorrow to do some paddle surfing. Why I love it, because I love being on my paddle and I'm ready to go do some paddle surfing. How did I complete it? I got my friend to help me put air in my paddle. I'm gonna find a dude to help me get it done. By what time? By noon. Okay. So maybe I'm excited about going paddle surfing, and maybe I'm showing up for the call tomorrow at 7. I'm gonna hang out with my son. We're probably gonna go to the library and get some books, yeah? Then tomorrow, when I wanna really imprint the experience with feelings, because that's what gets it to be set, is me feeling it and seeing it together, is I'm going to tune into love. Is the intention of going paddle surfing really linked to love? And if there's any fear of lacking approval, control, or safety around it, I'm going to go ahead and clear that up. And I use, so let me share with you, I use the 1-minute audios from that I've recorded a while back, and it's right here on the Planner Party resource page for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. This is where you have all the meditations, and you just scroll down and it's right here. So you've got all 3. There's actually an extra one, and they're all just 1 minute. And the reason we clear the fear of lacking or the wanting for approval is because, like, it creates a sense of like misalignment, and it creates a sense of anxiety around accomplishing the goal. So we clean that up. And then, is it aligned with my emotional authority? So what that means is me completing the task, does it resonate? So emotional authority is from Human Design. Do you guys all know your emotional authority? We can maybe go over that tomorrow, but it's like sacral chakra, emotional, splenic, all the different authorities that you may feel. It's more of a, is this in alignment with my purpose? Does this feel like a yes? And for the obligers, this question may be hard, because if you have on there that you need to do something for someone else and you hear an internal no, you're going to want to really clear it with the audios a couple rounds, okay? 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Yeah. And then, do I like the result? Like, do I like going paddle surfing or writing my website or getting on a discovery call? Do I like it? And if you don't like it yet, just go back to clear it a couple more times. Can I commit to it with enthusiasm? Like, yes, 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 yes. Can I visualize it with enthusiasm? And every time you move through that, you just put a little check mark, and you're going to feel like so aligned with the goal. It's kind of strange. It's very cerebral. You're going to feel like, oh, I see it, I feel it, it's done. Yeah. And then, you know, then you just check mark successful, canceled, return to plan, unsuccessful. Okay. At the end of the day. The canceling goals, we can go over that tomorrow. It's really important. If you set the goal and you didn't do it, you want to just go tell your mind, I'm canceling this goal, cancel, 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 clear, cancel, delete, unplug, suck your feelers back in. Because otherwise you might still kind of feel like you can't really rest and you can't really rejuvenate. Okay, Sabrina. I listened to Removing Fear first thing this morning. Missed by task completion causes anxiety. Can you tell me a bit more, Jess? So I know, Jessica, you left me a message that you ended up spending the day with your son instead of getting any work done, and I totally support that. I've had so many of those days, ladies, where I planned on like working and then like life came. And to be honest, oh my gosh, let me tell you this story. This is going to completely turn this whole planner upside down. So even though I recommend this planner, even though I wanted to really share it with you, I always leave room for miracles. I am so flexible, and this also comes from trusting myself and feeling like even if my boyfriend at the time comes over with a kayak and says he wants to take me kayaking in the middle of the afternoon, and I'm in the office thinking I was going to work for 4 hours, and he's like, no, I'm picking you up, we're going kayaking. I have enough like self-trust that I'm like, fine, I'll get the work done tomorrow, right? I trust, and I hope you all can trust yourself enough to be like, I'm still going to receive abundance even if I take the day off to go kayaking. The day that I was like, sure, I'll go kayaking with you is the day that we ran into a dolphin and I jumped in the water and swam with a dolphin for 30 minutes in the wild in the south of France. Like, this was my freaking ultimate dream come true. Now, I had looked out to the water the day before, because the day before was a Wednesday, and Wednesdays I'm usually off. I don't work on Wednesdays. It's usually the day my son's not at school. But I was hanging out with friends on the beach, and I was kind of napping and talking and being kind of in this very relaxed feminine goddess vibe. And I just felt pulled by the water, and I stood hands on my heart, like hands like this, and I said, and I just emanated this prayer of like, one day in this lifetime I will swim with a dolphin. I really mean it. Like, it was my dream to swim with a dolphin, not at like SeaWorld, or not at like, not at a place where it's planned, but just randomly. And it literally, I kid you not, happened the next freaking day. And I wanted to share that because sometimes we think we have a plan, but life comes and scoops you up and says, actually, this is what was meant for you today, So, yeah, it was incredible. He came straight, so I got into the water, he came straight towards me. And then as soon as he got close to me, he came underneath me, and he was completely vertical, looking at me right underneath my feet. So then I got to put a goggles on, and I got to look at him, and I looked into his eyes, and for 20 minutes, we just circled around each other. And it was the most epic experience of my life. Okay. So you woke up with anxiety. So anxiety, love, Jessica, and I'll read you soon, and I'm kind of picking up on you now, but sometimes anxiety is when we're split between two things, and you haven't decided which thing to be. So anxiety as a mom is, I need to be a mom today, or I need to be a daughter today, or I need to be a coach today, but you're feeling anxious because you also need to be doing the other archetype. Okay, so there's this pool of like, I want to get a lot of work done today, but I got my kids at home today. It's hard for your mind to try to do both. It creates anxiety as well. So what you want to do when that happens is you just go, okay, what's important to me as a mother? What's my mother archetype needing right now? And blend and merge with her as a woman who needs to be a mom. She needs to cuddle, she needs to make food, she needs to just clean the house, she needs to be a mom, and it will keep her feeling sane. And then you just do that full on 100%, and I would cancel all of my, but I said I was going to be productive today, but I said I was going to be an entrepreneur today. Delete, 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 okay? Because then you're going to really love life, and you're going to love feeling like I got so much done as a mom. Give your mom all that she needs, and then pivot back to entrepreneur time. Be really clean with your energy. So give to your kids for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever you feel you needed to do, and then pivot back to, now I'm going to give to my business 100%. When you try to do both at the same time, your mind's like, what is happening? We're confused. So it creates anxiety. That's what I feel Jen is going on. Jessica, I mean. The other reason sometimes, okay, this is the other reason is from us working together this week, you may have really told your mind, hey, I really mean it. We're going to make progress with this. And you haven't given your mind enough files to pull on to create. So the mind uses pre-stored data to create upcoming realities. So this is where you'll hear Joe Dispenza also say, like, you create your future based on your past, or I can't remember how he says it, but it's like, if you don't live in the now and you don't create from being fully deeply in the now, you're going to reuse old files to create tomorrow. So if you always felt like men abuse me and men cheat and men are blah, 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 future men are going to be a match for those beliefs. Okay. So I use the men because it's easy. We all get how that works, right? For you as an entrepreneur, for you succeeding with your purpose and your projects, if you've set the goal, you've decided I am finishing the book, but you have so much evidence that you never did finish the book, that writing the book was hard, that working was hard, that making money as an entrepreneur never happened, your mind's going to have anxiety because it's like you're trying to go over here, but you got all this data I'm going to be pulling on and creating for you, but it's not going to feel good. So what it's trying to tell you is it's trying to say you need to delete the data, have completion with the data, rewrite how it gets to be. So scripting it. Does that kind of make sense? And I know it's like beyond what I can teach you in this 4-day thing, but it would really be deleting every layer. So why would I be opposed to make money as an entrepreneur? And you're going to hear the beliefs like, because it's hard work. Is it? I have way more ease doing what I do now than when I was waitressing or working in corporate, you know? So that's just a belief. So you want to delete that by asking yourself if it's wanting approval, control, or safety, and clean it up until you can change your mind. Does that make sense, Jessica? Anxiety just means I need to delete old files and I need to write a new script, or you're trying to do a task from the wrong archetype, right? So you decided you were going to do a lot of work, but you ended up needing to be a mother. So then there's like crisscross energy and it's really, really hard to stay centered. Okay. I'm going to see if I have the dolphin pictures on my computer right here. Oh yeah, I do. Oh, I'm going to show you the dolphin who just came. He heard me calling him and he came the next day. And he's a dolphin. I guess people told me later on that he was there all morning, like he was there all day from the morning. So when we got there, my boyfriend at the time was like, the dolphin's not going to be there anymore if he's been there since this morning. So we're kayaking out to see a little bit. And so he randomly had a friend give him a kayak out of the blue, and he drove 2 hours to take me kayaking out of the blue. And yeah, you guys see him? There might be a picture of me in the water with him. I don't know if I have it here. He was so gorgeous. And so he was there all day. And so when my boyfriend said, I don't think he's there anymore, I looked at my heart chakra, you guys, and I saw this really pulsating turquoise light, like throbbing in my heart. And I go, he's here, because my heart chakra is never turquoise. I've never seen a turquoise heart chakra in my life. And I've seen chakras my whole, like for 20 years, I've been studying chakras. So I'm like, he's here, he's here, he's here. And the next thing we know, we see his fin, you know, out of the water. So I'm like, I told my boyfriend, I'm like, no one was in the water. I was the only one who got in the water. And I said, you know, I'm getting in the water right away. As soon as we're near him, we're getting in the water. And he was really fun. So he's, I guess, a dolphin who comes once a year to this place. And it happened to be the day that we got to be there. So we were there for a long time. We were there for over 45 minutes and he was still here. Then it got really cold. And then I had to get out of the water. So, okay, so that was my fun fairy dolphin story. Leave room for miracles. Let yourself be guided. Come back to the blessing ball of light. It will strengthen your ability to manifest amazing things into being. Okay. Bye, Jen. Yeah, just keep pushing energy forward. Keep being available for guidance. Me sharing my dolphin story, and I say that because it's like everything, I call in a lot of things. You can call in clients, you can call in answers and results and clarity by becoming available for it. But it starts with really being good with your energy and like doing the blessing ball of light and all the things. All right, have a good evening. I will probably see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, just post any questions in the group if you want about the planner. Mwah. See you soon.